Hi, happy Sunday. I'm Lynnly Wood, former teacher, future therapist, mom to a beautifully blended family, and I'm also the host of Building Better Humans podcast. So I'm here today to do my first episode of Sunday School. There's some things that happened during the course of this journey that I'm on that I think would be beneficial to other people. And last night was one of those moments. One of my kiddos was called fat at a play date, and I freaked out. Let's be real. I freaked out. It is very hard for me as a person who is working against fat phobia and fat shame and hate in all forms. So I looked into it a little bit. I came up with some things, and I thought this was a perfect topic for our first Sunday school, what to do if your kid gets called fat. So I've put it down into 5 steps. The first step is this. The first step is process your own feelings first. And honestly, this is probably the most important one. If you come to your child after they have told you this or told your partner this, if you come to them in that first state of being super upset or very angry or mad, you will not be in the best headspace in order to help them process their emotions. So you have got to think about your past, your history, your trauma, right? So immediately upon hearing this, I flash back to every kid who ever called me fat or any other name or any coach or any teacher or anyone that gave me a hard time about my weight or still does. And I had those feelings. So I sat with those feelings, and honestly, I slept on it. I did not talk to my child until this morning. So I slept on it. I thought about it. I processed those feelings. I journaled about it a little bit just to sort of get myself in the right headspace. That leads us to number 2, y'all. So number 2 is you need to sit with your kid in the hard. You need to help them process what they've just experienced. How are they feeling? Depending on their age or their emotional intelligence level, you may need to be a little bit harder, a little bit tougher, a little bit more giving of information. So I offered some options to my child today. I said, are you feeling angry? Are you feeling sad? These are things that are okay to feel in this situation, right? And help them talk through those feelings. And also, this is the great time to say, I know you're feeling hurt. I'm feeling hurt too. Let's keep this in our minds so that we are not creating hurt in others. Just reminding them that it's never okay to say something to someone about the way that they look, the way that they act. Nothing. Not okay. None of your business. Don't say it. That's where you put that little plug in, okay? Number 3. This one is the one that I had been missing before, right? I had kind of done 1, I had kind of done 2, but I'd never known really, okay, what do I do now? So number 3 is teach your child what to do when that happens, okay? Research shows us, and I'm in grad school, so I'm all about the research, that if a child calls other children names and nothing happens, and I mean nothing happens in the moment, like a parent can talk to them later, all of those things. But I'm talking about right then when the episode is happening. If nothing happens, they're not interceded upon, they will continue to do it. So you, as a strong, empowering, amazing parent, are going to help your child to learn what to say. There are just 2 quick options that I think are perfect. This is not a lecture on bullying to the other child. This is nothing. This is just you teach your kid to look the other kid in the eye and say, not cool. That's hurtful. Either one of those, and you are good to go, right? And then after the child says that, your child, just walk away. So it looks like that. Hey, you're fat, blah, blah. And the child says, that's not cool. And they walk away. That's it. Then they can walk away to do something else, and you can coach them what you want them to do in that time. I, at that point, would coach them to come to me to try to process it and work through it, or to come to another trusted adult, however you want to do it. Okay, number 4, practice, right? Practice. Just like us, kids don't always know what to do in the moment. They're just not sure. And so if you practice it, then they'll be more apt to implement that when it actually happens to them. I do believe from a trauma-informed perspective that you should not recall them a name. Okay, so what I would say is, I'm calling you a name right now. That's exactly how I would do it. And I would have the kid practice, not cool. and walk away. Okay? Just not to re-say whatever name it was they were called. In this case, it was fat, and that's the one I'm fighting against. And then the last one is important. Number 5, check back in. Don't let this be the end of the conversation. You can talk about it, we like to talk about things at dinner, or we've been doing lunch lately because we've been around, we've been home since March. But any of the meals that you're all together for, or mostly together for, you can chat about this, what it looks like without, pointing fingers at anyone. But I would, after this event, if it's reported to you, put a note in your calendar to check back with the kid. And developmentally, you want to pick different lengths of time as to when you want to check back in. So if it's a 6 and under, I would check back in the next day or the day after that, like not long, to see if they had to do it, to see how they're feeling, to see how it's going, to see if they've heard anyone else calling names, all of those things. Just 1 to 2 days. 7 to 10s, I would say it's a 2 to 3 day check back in. And then the 10 pluses, I do 4 to 5 days. And I would simply, because, I'm like everyone else, I'm a busy mama, I would put a note in my calendar. Just an alarm on my phone. It's always beeping, but it's fine. That way I remember to actually do it, because I think it's very important. So I'm going to go over the 5 steps again. What to do if your kid is called fat or any other name. Number 1, process your own feelings first. Super important. Number 2, help your child process their feelings. Number 3, teach your child what to do when it happens. That's not cool. Number 4, practice with your child. And number 5, check back in with them in a little bit. I would love to know how this goes for you. If you have this happen and you get to use this strategy, or have to use this strategy, I don't really want you to have to, but I know that it might happen, especially our kids are going back to school tomorrow, right? So sending them back into the world, protecting their hearts as well as their faces and their minds. I hope you have a great Saturday. When you can, turn into the Building Better Humans podcast and subscribe. We'd love to have you there in our community. Take care.